Hello.
We're back, baby.
We're back after a week's hiatus, which we weren't really on hiatus. But this is the EriDan Film Festival being brought to you every other week by Pontiac Dodge.
What?
Huh?
Pontiac Dodge? There's not even, I mean, those are different companies.
No, it's Bob Pontiac.
Oh, Bob Pontiac.
Dodge dealership.
Oh, because I know people with the last name Dodge, so it could be Dodge Pontiac.
It could be, but it's not. It's episode 204 of the EriDan Film Festival.
And it's also your birthday.
It's my birthday. What? It's wackiness.
We have numbered because so 50 is a big deal. And then 51 is Area 51. 52, sure. I don't know of anything with 50. 52 weeks into the year. 53 is Herbie the Love Bug.
Yes, 53 is the Love
Now
Bug.
You have Car 54, Where Are You?
That's true.
Next year you'll be I Can't Drive 55.
That's true.
I don't know what 56 is, but 57 is Heinz ketchup, 57 varieties.
Anyway. You are wow.
Speaking of varieties,
if you want to be all night.
If you want to be a guest,
what would they do?
EriDanLive.com.
Join us.
Just go to EriDanLive.com and it brings you right into the show.
And you can talk about what? What would we talk about with these people?
Movie tonight. We're talking about The Iron Giant.
That's right. And we're also going to talk about what else is on television right now and what people have been watching. And so there's so many reasons to join.
Yes.
I can think of no reason not to join.
I can't think of a reason either.
Well, then I think we should start bringing some peeps in, and then we'll find out what they think.
All right. Speaking of what they think.
I'm sorry, Dave. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
I don't need to think. Thinking's overrated.
This is what I hear.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens. All right. Speaking of nothing happening.
Wow. Let's do that again.
Thanks for that intro.
There you go. Let's bring in the excitement here. It's Wade.
San Stacy.
So on Car Yada Yada. That was a pretty good episode. Yeah.
That was the funniest episode we've ever had. If you haven't watched it, please do. I blame Eric for not teaching me properly how to drive a stick shift all those years ago in his Rabbit.
I stand by my method.
You might have taught me right. I just don't drive I mean, yeah.
You don't remember, yeah.
Maybe Rafi's wrong.
No, I think Rafi is probably right.
Do you ever watch The Amazing Race?
Sometimes.
It is so funny when these teams that they have prepared for the race so hard, and then they get over and like, well, I took like a 1 week course of driving stick before I left home because a lot of these countries stick is still the norm, and they're like grinding gears. They have no idea.
Yeah,
that grinds my gears. Speaking of grinding gears.
Got a lot of gears to grind, I guess.
I guess you do. You must, you know.
Just a problem.
I never know who he's going to bring up when I say these things, just so you know.
It's true. It is true.
Blame your uncle. It's not me.
I just push the buttons.
Honestly. You're going to blame your uncle.
That's Scott? Yes, it's Scott.
It's Scott. As a baby. He'll grow. Bring Scott back.
You just don't get it.
What? I see this as an absolute win.
Yeah, screw your uncle.
All right.
Wow.
Well then.
You do have some gears to grind.
He knows what he did.
Oh. Well then.
Speaking of knowing what he did.
In the beginning, there was.
Is this he with a capital H?
So Hogwarts Hughes is here. Adam's wearing a shirt that's a very cool shirt.
Not Hogwarts. Not Hogwarts.
Hogwarts, yes.
Hogwarts Hughes would be wildly
right.
We got to merge our films. So he's got the Lenny Super Mega Autoplex
Oh,
shirt.
look at that.
The beard covers the whole thing.
I know. Hagrid's beard gets in the way.
You could have had it made. You could customize the shirt where you take the logo and you lower it.
Like,
Oh, I didn't know that.
the bottom
Yeah.
of the shirt.
The awesome shirt, though, by the way. That's what I wore in Pittsburgh. Same shirt. I was going to wear it for the show, for the taping, but I didn't. I just went solid light blue instead. Brittany is here, but she's not here. So we have a big movie night tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Movie night tonight. Oh, yeah.
A giant movie night, in fact.
A colossal giant movie night.
As they say in Pittsburgh, Iron.
All right.
Iron.
The Iron Man. No, it's
Iron.
giant.
Everybody should be pumping iron right now.
Iron Giant.
All the way back in 25 years ago, 1999, this movie starring Jennifer Aniston, Harry Connick Jr., Vin Diesel, I Am Giant, James Gammon, Forrest Reachman, John Mahoney, written and directed by Brad Bird, screenplay also helped by Tim McCann. A box office, not so good at the box office, but lots of loves in the ratings. 96 and a 90 over there.
Warner's did not promote this at all.
No. They said that. I read that they realized afterwards they had flopped with their marketing for this movie, because it is subsequently become a beloved favorite.
Yeah, once it hit home video, it took off.
Warner Brothers had a really huge problem with just advertising their movies in the 90s on the animated side. It was all about the TV shows. It was all about the Looney Tunes and
Animaniacs.
And a bunch of other shows we still talk about today because the Warner Brothers talked about them. But yeah, they treated the Batman animated movie the same way. And honestly, like, that is probably one of the top 5 superhero movies, including another one that Brad Bird worked on. And I'm really glad this thing is getting the following that's getting today, because we would not have gotten The Incredibles Ratatouille without Brad Bird saying, hey, Warner Brothers, stop copying everything Disney is doing. We got to do something original.
What was interesting is last week, Amy Poehler and Patton Oswalt were on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Amy Poehler was plugging Inside Out 2, which is coming out in June or July. I'm not sure exactly when. And so they were talking about the sequel. Then Patton Oswalt came out later, and the first thing Jimmy Kimmel said basically was, so when are you doing Ratatouille 2? And he stopped and said, I would love to do Ratatouille 2. But like with Inside Out 2, I will wait for as long as it takes Brad Bird to come up with the right story. If he ever comes up with the right story, I'm in.
When Disney gives Brad Bird another $30 million to write a sequel to one of his Pixar movies, then we'll get it. We promise it'll be good, just like the last sequel.
There's a lot of weird backstory to this whole, like, Brad Bird was inspired to make this film because it was part of a memorial to his sister Susan, who died at the hands of her estranged husband by gun violence. His pitch was, what if a gun had a soul and didn't want to be a gun? Like, wow. And the book was written.
It should have been directed by James Gunn.
Oh.
I think he was too busy working on Scooby-Doo.
Based on the novel The Iron Man, the author of the novel, Ted Hughes, wrote the novel's way of comforting his children after the suicide of their mother, Sylvia Plath. So Sylvia Plath's husband was this guy. It was Ted Hughes.
It has a really wild cast, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth in there.
Very solid voice cast. It has those kind of voices that you hear them and you know, I know that voice. And you just can't place it while you're watching it. It's really funny.
And Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel setting the precedent for, they saw him in this and went, I think he can play Groot.
I think he could be Groot. Yeah, absolutely.
He's just playing the only 3D animated character in a movie.
He's used to playing a character with a vocabulary of like a handful of words.
53 words.
I wish they had his lines in Saving Private Ryan.
I love Christopher McDonald's, the FBI.
Oh man, he is so over the top.
Yes.
Of course, Christopher
chews up
McDonald.
the scenery, man. He is just.
Of course, Christopher McDonald is the villain in this movie. It's the freaking 90s.
Launch the missiles, you idiot!
Do you know where the missiles are targeted?
I don't know. I love this movie. I could watch this movie whenever it's on. I mean, it's just. I'm not a big fan outside of Pixar. I'm not a big fan of Disney animation. So, but I know this isn't Disney, but I'd rather watch movies like this or, like Scott was saying, like I love the Batman, the Mask of the Phantasm, or is that backwards?
That's right.
Yeah, like those are great like animated movies. Like, and then there's Pixar, and then the stuff that Disney does by itself is nah. I'm not a big fan, but.
Well, the 90s was purely musicals about people discovering themselves and leaving their apartments to go do that. And we're not exactly that generation, Adam, so don't worry. It's all good.
I like animated. I mean, I like Pixar. I like Disney. I think they're sometimes quite good, but there is sort of it very much looks like a Disney movie. It very much looks like a Pixar movie. The ones that are really surprising to me are ones that step out of that mold. Kubo is one that steps out of the mold and really works for that reason. And Teen Titans Go to the Movies steps out of the mold and works for that reason. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody else would agree with this, but like the way this is animated, it's almost animated in relation to the era that the movie's set in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Because the 50s, it kind of has that feel.
Yeah.
The character style.
The look of that classic 50s animation, yeah.
Yeah.
This was also, I think, one of the first movies where you really just seamlessly blended in a 3D character into a 2D style. That didn't really have it stand out. I mean, before this, like you had the organ from the stupid Beauty and the Beast Enchanted Christmas movie.
Hey now.
Like, maybe the Firebird in Fantasia 2000 came shortly after this. I don't know, but it didn't look like it was trying to stand out or like they were trying to show off an effect. It just made the character feel so much more alive.
Well,
because
in fact,
he had more frames.
They went out of their way to make the lines irregular so it fit more into the traditional animation it was blending with.
That's a good point. Like you see the most defined lines in the robot character. Everyone else is super curvy and all over the place. That's a really good point. I didn't even think about that. Huh.
I mean,
Dave wins.
Oh, go ahead.
I read that somewhere. So.
Oh.
Did anybody else shed a tear at the end? Because I did. I always do at not the very end, but the part where he's flying up to the nuclear missile. And he's like, yeah, that stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, come on,
Superman.
Yes, that gets me every time.
And I think the reason it gets you is because Brad Bird does a really nice job of making you care about these characters, and that's the hallmark of good storytelling. Is you in 5 to 10 minutes you already care about the characters, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, you already are like, this is a cute kid, or this is a nice mom. Oh, that's an asshole FBI agent. We all know one.
And the kid is always sort of getting in trouble with his mom, but she rolls her eyes and puts up with it. You get the relationship really quickly. They never mention where dad is.
Totally helps that she's played by the hottest woman alive at the time. Jennifer Aniston.
Forrest Leachman?
And we know how much Dave loves
You're right. She's a solid 6.
This is one of those movies that, like, for like years and years and years, I was like, man, I really wish they'd have made a sequel to it. But nowadays, I'm like, it's fine as it is. It doesn't need a sequel.
Yeah, I agree.
Pretty well.
The ending works well in that it's a positive ending without being overly sappy, and it sets up if they wanted to do a sequel, but it's so much better that they didn't.
Yeah, I was about to say it sets it up for a sequel. Like he puts himself back together. Does he go back to the to the kid, or does he do something? But.
Yeah. I did read that Brad Bird basically he's happy with how it ended and just sees no reason to go back and revisit.
Yeah. I am glad they didn't have him reuniting with the kid at the end of the movie. I thought that was a nice ending, and it was good to have them like he's alive so that the kids watching aren't leaving the theater sad. but we can still have the poignant moment.
I will say that it did feel, and this isn't a negative at all. It definitely did feel like a kids movie, though.
Yeah.
I mean, some animated films are targeted to both adults and kids. This felt like a kids movie, but adults can enjoy it. But definitely a kids movie.
It treated the kids like they weren't stupid. When there was a seriously heavy or sad moment, it didn't go, ugh! It just was subtle and calm and took its freaking time. And that's what really more kids' movies that are super mature have. They have moments of being quiet, not trying to keep your kids quiet in the back of the car so you can focus on the road.
And it had its silly moments, like the spinning around in the car, you know. And it's just the fun, happy moments when you know that something serious is still around the corner.
Yeah. I mean, the only really scary part that I think might scare like a younger kid was towards the end when he changes into the freaking monster or whatever.
That's a little intense, yeah.
Yeah, you know, the dent in his head pops back out and he's like
I mean, he finally found out
it's a
who
really
killed
poor,
his mom.
Whatever aliens sent these, it's a really poor design. You know, it's an incredibly powerful weapon. You just don't dent the head. Make sure you don't dent the head.
Why would you give it the same weaknesses as the aliens we are trying to replicate and take over?
Yeah, and I'd also like it that they never tried to explain it.
Yeah,
the closest they came was when the giant was sort of hallucinating, and maybe that was sort of his memories trying to come back, but you're not quite sure. But you don't really know, and that's fine.
Yeah, you don't really know if he was sent there to destroy Earth, or did he just crash land there and like kind of,
or whether he was damaged in space and that's why he landed on Earth because he was
he just shows up.
Yeah, and they also don't really make you feel like it. They don't fall into the trap of making him just stupid because he had a head injury. Which they could have done. They could have made it really comedic and turned it into a really bad extended SpongeBob episode, but they did not.
I did really like the cartoonish giant off switch at the power plant.
Yeah. Well, ours has one of those.
with a giant on-off label, so you
on-off,
know
exactly right.
Hey, you gotta know that turn off the power plant.
I thought it was funny.
No, when the general public needs to be able to.
They circumnavigated the mice and men analogy. I applaud them for it.
It's sort of like the giant countdown timer. It's a cliche.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like how he eats metal and Hogarth's like, wait, I have a plan. I have an idea.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine if it ate people.
Oh, and the look of sadness on the giant's face when the tow truck hauls the scrap car away. It's like, oh.
Such a waste. The FBI agent or the military dude?
I'm assuming the FBI.
The general or the Men in Black kind of guy. Yeah.
I kind of just appreciate how the general is actually a much more grounded, serious, non-trigger happy kind of guy. Yeah. Like when he has the two voices in his head and he sees enough evidence to doubt, he just calls for a ceasefire.
Yeah.
And then risk blowing everything up. And
yeah, because you had one cartoonish villain, you didn't need two.
No.
Right.
No.
And where he throws back the "for our country" phrase back in the face of the FBI agent. I'm like, oh my gosh, he totally understands how full of crap that phrase is sometimes. Mm-hmm. And now he actually has to do it. He's kind of pissed off. Angry, sorry. And he's played by John Mahoney, which as a lifelong Frasier fan.
That was one of those voices where and Margaret said this when he was watching it too. I know that voice, and I had to look it up because I couldn't place it.
Cloris Leachman. I say that for everybody.
Yeah, the general was Cloris Leachman. Yeah, what a range, man! What a range.
I thought Vin Diesel was Cloris Leachman.
No, Vin Diesel was Superman.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, but that's the point. He's the villain. You know, you can make him be as bad. There's a great commentary from I think it was David O. Selznick when he's talking about the beginning of A Night at the Opera when Harpo is getting beaten, and he said, "Well, you know, I had to do that on purpose because then they can have the revenge on this guy for the rest of the movie, and no one will feel sorry for him."
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, they made him a pure villain at the very end.
It's the Count of Monte Cristo. It's like you've hit the punch. It's good. Well, it's 20 past.
Uh-oh.
Someone's freaking talking.
We have a Dan surrogate in the audience.
All right, there we go.
But this is Adam's movie.
Oh, you're right. So I did the wrong one.
Yep.
Sorry. I put it. I thought I had in the right
We
position.
we get confused a lot.
It's the shadow of
It
Adam.
looks the same, yeah. It's
Well, I got to back up. I'm sitting kind of close to the thing. Anyway, I'll be quick. I love this movie. Like I said before, I love this movie. I can watch it all the time. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have nothing bad to say about the movie. So I'm gonna do 100. 100.
Wow.
I mean, it's like I said. I mean, I could, I was gonna get before we, to watch this. I was looking online to get the Blu-ray, like the special edition Blu-ray, because I wanted to watch it, over and over again.
Mhm.
But it's super expensive, like on Amazon and stuff.
Oh, really?
That's too bad.
Yeah,
Out of print.
I think it might be out of print.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those movies. Like like I said, I'm not a big Disney fan. I'm okay with Pixar, but like movies like this, and like for some reason, I like the Warner Brothers animation style. So
There you
I'm
go.
done.
All right, we'll take it over to Wade.
It's nice.
Oh boy. Yeah, I like it. And actually, yeah, I like the plane series in it. They look pretty real to me. So that was good. Yeah, I did like the concept where the kid finds it. It was kind of weird that he ate metal. That was kind of funny, but I guess that was probably put in there to be something funny. In the cartoon, now that you're used to watching Pixar and stuff, looked a little. I know Stacy complained that it seemed blurry to her, and that's probably why from the differences between Iron Man or the Iron Giant and everybody else. So I'm going to give it an 80, and then Stacy sent me her score of an 82.
All right, Amanda.
Yeah, so I don't remember seeing this before. I might have, but it would have been like not since childhood. So I went in essentially blind. So I was happy to get to see it because this is one of those movies that I feel like people in my generation are nostalgic for. And I'm like, I've heard the name of it and I know what the giant looks like, but that's what I got. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I stayed interested throughout. I don't think it's like topping any of my like best animated movie lists, but those are crowded lists, so that's not like a knock against the movie. Yeah, we'll definitely watch it again. I'm gonna give it a 90.
90. Nice.
All right. Scotty, Bombati, Banana Rana, Fafati.
Gee. Yeah, I mean, I think inevitably I will give Ready Player One a lower score when we finally review that movie, just simply because of how they treated the Iron Giant in that film. It is a heartwarming story about something that you would never expect to feel moved by, a giant alien robot throwing aside what it's supposed to do in order to do the right thing. And yes, Wreck-It Ralph totally stole that. It's a lovely movie. It's well written. It's well animated. It's well scored. I'll probably give it like a 98. I just love that film.
Woo!
All right.
Aye.
Yeah, I saw it once before, and there were large swaths of it. It was quite a while ago. It was probably at least 20 years ago. So there were large swaths of it I don't remember or didn't remember. But I did remember liking it, and I liked it again on reshowing. I think the animation style is perfect for it. It fits the mood. It fits the era.
Yeah.
The blending. The giant looked both like it fit, but like it was somehow a little out of place in the way that they blended it with the animation, which I think worked really well. The voice acting was solid. It told a really great story. It told a serious story, but without hitting you over the head with it, and in a way that emotionally resonated and wasn't sort of forced down your throat. You sort of came to that point yourself without them having to haul you to it. So I really like it. It's a very solid movie. I have really nothing bad to say about it. Like I said, it is a bit of a kids movie, which isn't a negative. I mean, kids deserve movies too. I think
No, they don't.
as an adult, I still really enjoy it. I think I would have enjoyed it more as a kid, but I still love it. So it's a solid 93 from me.
Ooh.
93. All right. So Brittany says, I missed this movie. It was nice to have a reason to rewatch and experience the nostalgia, but also watch with very different eyes as a grown-up. We'll watch it again. She gives it a 93.
Wow.
Good number. Good number.
Much love.
I just made my screen huge, and I don't know how to change it now. So I've got no control. I saw this. I believe I saw this in the theater back in the day. I was probably living in New Orleans actually when this movie came out. It was the same weekend as the Sixth Sense. I saw many times in the theater. I think I finally got sick of it, and I wanted to see this. I went on the date.
You're breaking up a little bit, Dan.
Am I?
Yeah.
Are you being quiet?
I was hearing like every third word was sort of dropping out there.
It was very mysterious.
Sorry. How about now?
That's better.
Yeah.
Yep. Fine.
I think it's a solid 92 for me.
92.
Now we go over to Eric.
Nice. I like this movie. I feel like I don't know it didn't hold my attention as much as I wanted it to, and I don't know if that's the fault of the movie or, as Dave was saying, maybe it is. I feel like it's a simple movie, and there's nothing wrong with that, But whether it held my attention long enough to keep me enthralled, I'm not sure. Like I will watch it again. I'm sure it's a good, solid movie that everybody should watch and is totally enjoyable. But again, probably not going to be, like Amanda said, not one of my top 10 favorite animated movies of all time. But a really solid story, full of actors that I really love. I can't get enough Vin Diesel.
Exactly.
I'm at an 85. I enjoyed it quite a lot, but I'm going to give it an 85.
Well, all right.
It's a solid set of scores. 80 was the lowest.
No score from your mom, Dan?
I have not. I don't know if she's on tonight because I know she was helping with the super supper that they do once a month here because it's Tuesday night.
Super.
But if she gives me the score, Mom, if you're watching, you can put it in the comments. You can text it to me. But I'm sure she'll be above an 80. So yeah, we're gonna.
Well, I don't think she'll be able to dethrone it if she doesn't like it too much, because right now, currently, it is at a dead tie with Batman from 1989.
Whoa.
With a 90.33.
Wow,
so
that's
very
impressive.
Respectable.
Yeah.
So it was slightly beaten by Wreck-It Ralph there, Scott.
Oh crap!
Just slightly.
But look at that! Even it beat out Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to rewatch that. I appreciated it.
Incredible should be higher.
All right. So now we were trying to figure this out. Eric and I were talking earlier.
We were right with what we figured out. On the movie night, the person will announce what the movies are. On the social hour is when we'll spin the wheel.
But there's no wheel spinning tonight.
But we will keep your names if you've been on the wheel and you were at the last movie night. Your name will be on the wheel, and if you're not able to make the movie night, we'll contact you and let you know. So the movie night is not a requirement, but that'll be when we're spinning the wheel.
The game night, I assume, not the movie night.
That is correct.
Sorry
Sorry
about
about
that.
that.
Yes, good. Just making sure.
But a slight change in the lineup is that Amanda is going to be announcing what her movies are. Amanda is taking over the double feature from Dave.
There's a timing reason it works better for Amanda to pick now, and I'll pick later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Amanda gets to tell us what her double feature is, and
it should be pretty clear why we had to switch once I announced you.
Cats 2.
Cats.
Oh man, I wish.
And
I'm
3.
going with
or the prequel Kittens.
the film version of just the stage musical. It was a good one.
The Amblin Entertainment animated unfinished movie.
Oh, that would have been a good double feature, though, as both versions of Cats. But
Yeah, I'm taking it back if you do things like that.
that's fair. The last time I did a double feature was last February, and since then I have had a plan for what my next double feature would be, and I figured surely I will get to pick this double feature before the sequel to this movie comes out in theaters, and we are coming up upon that very soon. So my dad was great, was nice and let me switch.
Oh no!
So I am going with a double feature of Inside Out and Kiki's Delivery Service.
So
you happy, Adam?
Animation vein.
What's that?
I said, you happy?
Inside Out's not a bad movie.
Inside Out, and what was the second one?
Kiki's Delivery Service from Studio Ghibli.
Oh,
It's available on that one. So Inside Out is available for free on Disney Plus. Kiki, I believe you can rent from most places for like $3.
And it's one of the more.
And
it's one of
also
the
on
least
Max.
freak out of the Studio Ghibli films.
Yeah, I wanted to do like a Western and an Eastern animated movie with sort of a similar themes to have as a pair.
Kiki's Delivery Service available on Max.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So there you go. So if you've got Max and Disney,
And otherwise
Plus,
available to
set.
rent from various places.
And Inside Out 2 is this summer, right?
June 14th, I think. Yeah.
It's coming out in 2 weeks, basically. 2.5 weeks.
So this is
Yeah, so it's kind of running out of time.
So as a bonus, if you go watch Inside Out 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. Watching the trailers for it, I don't know. It just I don't know. It just seems like they waited too long to make the sequel. I'm just kind of like my interest is kind of just like eh.
I thought the scared guy was supposed to be anxiety. Like
I'm curious what the distinction is between fear and anxiety, if they kind of play it into that at all in the movie. Because I haven't watched any of the trailers besides like the initial teaser, so all I really know about it is that anxiety shows up.
I've seen some trailers, but they don't really spoil much. But it's I can't tell from the trailer whether it'll be terrible or great.
It's hard to know.
There's very little that's really sort of exposed.
It feels like it's directed towards Disney adults. We all know those people.
You saying that's a bad thing?
Is exhaustion one of the emotions?
Yeah.
No, I mean like the people who religiously watch Disney and go to Disneyland once a year for a week.
Yes.
Just sequel mania again. Oh well.
Yeah, we'll see. I have no idea what to expect from the sequel.
Yeah.
But the first movie is one of my favorite top Pixar movies. I adore Inside Out 1. So I've been wanting to do that.
Wonderful. Well, that only took a little while.
A little bit, yeah, you know.
All right, good timing.
And how can it be bad with Lewis Black in it?
It's fair.
Is he in the second one? Is he?
I would assume that because he's Edgar, right? So I assume Edgar sticks.
He's still. They showed him in one of the previews. He's definitely still his voice.
Okay.
Because
I know sometimes people don't come back for sequels for whatever reason. So
yeah,
true.
Anxiety is his child.
Anger and fear's child is.
Totally.
I'm looking for. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm looking forward to the Beetlejuice sequel. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too.
Well, you want to talk about waiting too long to make a movie, though?
Yeah, but I mean, from the trailer, it looks like it'll be decent.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I would hold judgment. You know, you can make a really good movie years later. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah,
and it's only
a really good trailer for a bad movie.
It's only Michael Keaton, right?
Oh, and Winona Ryder, isn't she?
Winona Ryder.
That's because they had to wait for her to get
Harris coming back.
No Alec Baldwin.
No Alec Baldwin. No Gina Davis.
Well, they didn't trust him on the set, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave.
No, they were afraid that if he had seen in hell, they knew the DP would show up.
Oh, why would they be in hell?
In Beetlejuice.
They had a strange path into the film industry.
Oh.
I'm so confused.
Let's just move
As
on.
you should.
What else are we watching?
I got my ticket for Deadpool Wolverine, so I'll be seeing that.
Ooh,
I got it. I'm gonna go see it in IMAX 3D.
Oh wow.
nice.
You want your Merc with the mouth to be as big as possible.
Well, I mean, they sent me a thing saying it was pre-sale, so I found the closest IMAX theater, and they had IMAX 3D, and it's like on a Sunday afternoon at 3:00, and it was only $20 for IMAX 3D. So I'm like, hey, sold, $20.
I have no doubt that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman will be good. I just hope the script is good.
Yeah. I mean, the runtime on they have the runtime. It's like 2 hours and 7 minutes, so it's gonna be a pretty long movie.
I'm excited. When does that open?
Well, that's about average these
July
days.
27th or something.
26th, it looks like.
I thought it was still a while off.
Yeah.
So a ways off.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about what else you've been watching.
Happy birthday!
I'm so confused.
How many of those do we have in here that we can show on for Eric's birthday?
What?
How many more of those are in here?
No, there's not that many. I think I had to take.
Oh my god! I had to do a Kramer entrance.
I did a Kramer,
Eric breaking the fourth wall.
I did a Kramer and Eric did a David Letterman.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that the Letterman thing?
Kramer and Letterman together again for the
It's
very
about
first
time.
time.
It's about time. Wow. So what else have you been watching? Have you watched anything else besides The Iron Giant?
Aurora Borealis. Right, that was a few weeks ago. Sorry.
You just started watching Fallout. We're only 2 episodes in so far. But I'm enjoying that so far. It hasn't grabbed me like The Last of Us, but for a video game adaptation TV series, I'm enjoying it.
It's amazing what happens when you hire an amazing writer-director to make your video game movie.
It certainly helps.
Yeah. The guy who made the Super Mario Brothers movie also made the Wiz movie, so
yep, that's a great one.
Hey, are you ripping on the original Tomb Raider movie? Is that what you're inadvertently talking about?
I did. Oh. I don't know why it came up on my feed. I did rewatch recently and enjoyed every moment of it. When Conan O'Brien was on Letterman after he had lost the Tonight Show, and Letterman is just raking Leno over the coals, and Conan is just sitting there smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah, and it all starts with them just sitting there quietly, and David's like, I just want to sit here because the longer we sit here saying nothing, the more anxious he's going to get.
It's one of my all-time favorite talk show interviews. It is amazing.
That is a good one.
That's awesome.
And then if you watch, it's not great, but it's fun. If you watch the Hot Ones episode with Conan O'Brien, that's enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
It's enjoyable. But even better then is to watch when Dr. Arroyo was on his podcast. He had Dr. Arroyo on, and that guy is hysterical. That was the best part of the Hot Ones was the doctor he brought along.
Speaking of hot ones, look at this from the archives for Eric's birthday.
There, I thought you were bringing somebody in. Whoa! Look at
that. Wow.
Were you swimming the English Channel?
You can't be giving my passport. You're giving my passport number out there for Disney.
There's there's a number on there.
Yeah, there's a number.
I don't think it's
His passport's number 12. Yeah.
It was issued in 1983.
Are you wearing a dress?
Yes. This is the summer before EriDan.
It's a 1800s bathing outfit. It's
yeah, 100%. Absolutely. That's a Speedo.
That's the last time Eric wore a tank top. He was on the basketball team.
Yeah.
And I know it's just your earlobes hanging below your hair, but it looks like you're wearing earrings.
Those are his pearls.
Oh boy,
those are, I've got some pearls in. Nice.
That picture screams future serial killer.
We got time.
See, that should be on your Eric the DJ page right there.
I should promote
Eric's
this.
like, I know what I've been watching. You.
You mean like when
enough of the roast.
When the kid turns around and the Iron Giant's right behind him.
Yeah.
I've been saving that since I was taking pictures in the archive, Eric.
I see how you are.
I've held that until your birthday.
I can dish it out as much as I can take it.
Oh, you've got way more than I have. That's all I have.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for, Dan.
You do have a birthday coming up before too long.
I know. Mine's 3 months from today. And I'll join the Car 54 Where Are You Club.
I saw the menu again.
Huh?
What'd you order?
Apparently a hot case of Rafe Fiennes.
Ooh.
He's the reason I watched that movie. It's just amazing to see as someone who was good absolutely go nuts. And to have it be an artist and turn his art into something that is usually good for bad.
I enjoyed that movie quite a lot.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit too.
Yeah.
I'm glad
it's
that
on my list, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's not as good as Knives Out, that kind of Agatha Christie sort of vibe, but it's like the foodie version of that episode of The Twilight Zone. Oh, and you did this, you get to die, and you did this. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, it's dark in a weird, twisted comedy way.
Speaking of dark, I've been watching Dark Matter on Apple TV. Wow, was that good? It's basically alternate realities, and this guy figures out a way. He basically makes the Schrodinger's box. What's the box called with the cat in it?
Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's cat. He makes the box, and puts a human in superposition, meaning they can be in any reality. And it's about 4 episodes in. It's really, really good. And then I was telling my boss about it because that's what we do in our one-on-ones. And he said there was a show. It reminded him of another show that's on Netflix. He goes, it's similar. I can't remember the name of it. Very similar. Oh, it's like one word. Oh, what is the name? I said Black Mirror. He goes, no, it's like that. He goes, it's in German. So he goes, I was subtitled.
Is it the date one?
No. And he goes, but it's kind of like, what's that other show where the kid goes into another universe? I go, Stranger Things? He goes, yes, it's like that, but serious. And I looked it up, and he was very close to the title. It's called Dark. Not Dark Matter, just Dark.
I thought you were going to say...
And it's apparently really, really, really good. I started it, and I like it.
Stranger Things is 2 words.
I understand that. He's saying it's like Stranger Things.
Okay.
Like it's not like the name. It's like the actual show.
Okay. Got it. I'll shut up.
It's just called Dark.
Oh, I thought it was Dork. Okay.
So those are my
recommendations.
Yeah.
Well, they got the art backwards. Looks like a Russian show.
I was going to say, only on the 3rd season, though.
I think they flipped it
3
so it kind
seasons.
of looked like that mirror.
They just were creative in the 3rd season.
It is. I mentioned this before, the TV show Poker Face. It was created and written by Ryan Johnson of Knives Out. So if you like his feel of the way he does his movies, I think you'd like the show too.
Interesting.
I love all his movies but The Last Jedi.
No, I say I can't forgive him for Last Jedi. So
well, I think that was sort of his fault for getting him. When you get yourself locked into somebody else's property and you have your hands tied behind your back that way, it's hard to do things your own way.
I would completely agree with you, except it is well documented that they basically let the directors do whatever they want. They had no plan. Like they were literally writing Rise of Skywalker while they were shooting it. Daisy Ridley didn't find out she was the granddaughter of Palpatine until like 2 days before. Because they still had... Oh, if you're looking forward to seeing Rise of Skywalker, I pity you. Now that guy is incredible writer director. I wish they had a better vision for him. It's a shame. We'll see.
Well, they've just announced some new casting for Knives Out 3.
Right.
Andrew Scott was cast. I'm trying to remember who else. There were a couple other very good actors that were cast.
Yeah. Knives Out. Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Did anybody also hear of what was the crap? The Star Wars. Jon Favreau directed it. It was on Disney Plus, not The Mandalorian. Was it the No, it was Boba Fett.
Yeah.
When he comes out of, they do the scene after he got thrown in with Jabba the Hutt and he climbs out.
Oh, yeah.
They used Patton Oswalt's ad-libbed filibuster from Parks and Rec.
Oh, yeah, he was talking about that on his Jimmy Kimmel interview.
Yes, verbatim for the scene where they used the exact same way he told the story as what they actually shot.
Well, and the story behind that, because he was talking about that too, was they originally just wanted him up there speaking gibberish.
Yeah.
And he needed to have something to say. And the director goes, just film the whole thing. Let's see what we can get out of this. And he just went on this 20-minute dialogue.
Yeah. And they end up using it for the actual show.
I was thinking it's crazy that he was such an ancillary character in Star Wars, and like how he just blew up. Like he just became like this popular character, and now all the stuff they're doing.
Boba Fett?
Yeah, because he was just like, I mean,
throwaway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, Adam.
What?
You know what was Boba Fett's first appearance and the reason why he was in The Empire Strikes Back?
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
So, if there's one sole thing you could thank the holiday special for, my friend, it is the first appearance of Boba Fett.
Speaking of first appearance,
or sure.
better late than never.
I think the last time Cody was on, the Steelers had two different quarterbacks.
You're probably right. No, I just wanted to, I'm actually in the middle of hosting some friends over. I just wanted to pop on and say happy birthday to Eric.
Well, thank you, Cody.
Happy birthday, guys.
I appreciate that.
Hopefully we'll be back on here more regularly once work calms down, but it's been wild.
Understood.
The Lord's chicken is massive and wild.
Good.
No, just wanted to say happy birthday. What movie you guys watched this week?
Iron Giant.
Yeah.
Have you seen it recently? You could score it.
Recently enough in my heart, absolutely. I mean, I'll watch it again to score it, but like that movie is a solid 96 for me.
Hey.
That movie's
Whoa,
phenomenal.
I think
Aren't they remaking it?
Please let it pass.
Aren't they remaking it? Did I hear that?
It might pass Wreck-It Ralph now.
Yeah,
it might.
I thought someone said they were remaking it or doing a live action version or something.
Ooh. A live action version of the Iron
I genuinely
Giant.
thought I saw that recently.
Oh no!
I would
Why?
With Shaquille O'Neal as the Iron Giant.
Dear Lord.
Robert Downey Jr.
It's a live action. The
Iron Man.
For the
It was a
band
real
who brought you Kazam.
Or was that the Iron Lady about Margaret Thatcher?
It was not
the Iron Lung.
The Iron Giant is now a woman played by Meryl Streep. Yes, that's how you make it progressive.
Technically, Ready Player One had a little bit of real life Iron Giant in it.
That does bump the Iron Giant right over Wreck-It Ralph. How about that?
Yes!
You did it, Scott. You did it.
Thank you, Cody.
My pleasure. All right, I'm gonna hop off, guys. Happy birthday, Eric, and I will see you guys hopefully soon.
God bless you.
Go Steelers!
Yeah.
Woo! Well, that was nice. If anybody else wants to
fun.
pop in and wish Eric a happy birthday, go to EriDanLive.com. Look what Eric made today.
Yeah,
A Lego head.
It's a Lego head. It'll be a face later.
His face.
But whose face?
Speaking of Iron Man, has anyone watched? I haven't watched it yet, but it keeps showing up on my Max feed. That show with Robert Downey Jr. where he plays a bunch of different characters.
No.
It's called The Sympathizer or something like that.
Oh no.
I don't know. I know he's in it because I've seen the trailer and he plays a bunch of different characters in it or something like that. And
Looks like he plays Clint Eastwood.
I don't know.
Well, I'll just remind everybody.
What are we supposed to do?
Who are we supposed to kill, Dan?
Yeah, that's okay. What do you need me to kill?
Kill Iron Man.
That's the Pauly Shore version. Who do I kill now, man?
Joker.
Dune Part 2 is on Max. I'll watch that again. I still like it. I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he plays like a bunch of. That's not him, the Chinese guy or whatever.
Yeah, those are all him. It's amazing.
Wow, that's impressive.
And the one Chinese woman, yeah.
Makeup is amazing.
I still like Mike Myers' Pentaveret, where he plays 5 characters. That
show was interesting. I watched it.
I watched it again. I might watch it a third time. I really like it.
I watched the first 2 episodes, and it isn't that I didn't like them, but it wasn't quite enough to pull me back right away. And after a while, I just didn't get back to it. So I never consciously decided to not finish it. I just didn't.
It felt like his redemption. It felt like he was trying to redeem himself for the Love Guru.
He needs a lot to redeem himself from
doing that for 20 years. It feels like.
Yeah, but he's got the money. He doesn't care. I don't think.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Did you see? He just resurfaced for like he was out of the public eye for like a year, and he just popped back up.
Yeah, he was out in public. Yep, I saw that.
Yeah.
He deliberately keeps a very low profile.
All right. I started, there's a show on Netflix. Scott and I were talking about this earlier. And a lot of people keep saying to me, "Oh my God, did you watch Tires? It's just like your show."
I saw it come up on Netflix's homepage recently, but I haven't.
And I'm like, "Did you watch it?" And they go, "No, but I mean, it's about guys working at a tire shop." I'm like, "So is the dad like a famous guy?" No. Is it in a car lot? No. So how's it like our show? Well, cars have tires.
Tires, yeah.
But they haven't watched it. Everybody I know it's watched it. You can't make it through an episode or
so
two.
the same way that your show's exactly like American Auto, right?
Yeah. But the cool thing about it is Shane Gillis, who is the star of it, he put the money. It looks like it was shot on an iPhone, but he put the money up, and they did 6 episodes. And Netflix bought it. It was independently produced. So there's hope for our show.
All right.
It actually inspired me even more.
Well, and if it does well, Netflix may be in the market for more car-related shows.
And we're not just 4 white people.
Yeah,
Dan, that's going for us.
Unless that's what they want. And then you're nothing but 4 white people.
We could be 4 white people, but yeah, we're not.
I mean,
Scott, you can do a little post-editing, right?
Oh, I would be happy to make the red-headed white version of Dean Edwards. I think that would look great.
We have women, we have African Americans, we have Armenians,
we have Australians.
Who? Oh yeah, we have Australians. Rick's an Australian. Like who? Oh yeah, that's right. It's not just Americans; it's international.
Oops.
We have Lenny Kravitz's drummer. I mean, we have everybody.
So Eric, how many Jackbox games did you buy?
It's true.
So we were able to buy the remainder 4 packs.
Nice.
Packs 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we now have the complete series of everything Jackbox makes.
That's crazy. Awesome.
Thank you for those who were able to donate. Because yes, it was able to.
People that donated, they can play next week. Everyone else sucks. Not true. Not true.
So we'll have to see what new stuff we want to try out next week.
There's going to be a lot to play for we might have to make a wheel of games.
Ooh, that's a fun idea.
Just remember, Adam loves drawing.
There's a new Drawful Animate, which is the.
I have tried that. That one's cute. I really like Drawful Animate.
So not only you get to draw, but you get to animate your drawings.
And the good thing is, if you purchased any merchandise ever, and Adam's got a shirt on, then you've contributed because the money from that goes right back into the show. So we've used that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, ultimately, last week I just learned that everyone else is funnier than me, so it was a humbling experience.
Didn't inspire you to be better, or was it just depressing?
For the cards.
Adam.
Self-deprecation is already my number one trait.
I actually, when I've been sending, because I do the build management for a product at work, so whenever I send out a new build email, which is only every few months, but I've gotten in the habit of putting a quote on them. And the most recent one was a Lorne Michaels quote: "Is if you go into a room and you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
I like what Lorne Michaels told Jerry Seinfeld. He said, "Oh, I think I'm going to do the, when the show gets to the point where it's boring and I'm just not energized by it and I just don't like doing it anymore. At that point, I'll do it for 5 more years."
Nice.
You just described every NBC show.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love the lyrics.
Next Monday.
Yes.
This coming Monday. You want to make sure you join us for the social hour.
Oh, yes.
Because then you'll get to hear comments about I would like Adam's beard in my bra and things. That'll inspire you to come back.
Wow.
Horrifying.
I'm sorry for writing that.
I thought you didn't have any more pictures of yourself, Eric.
Oh.
Wow.
And that ends the roast of Eric Schemer.
I did. Speaking of what else have you been watching? I haven't finished yet. I'm about an hour into the Comedy Central roast of Tom Brady.
Oh, well, it was Netflix, not Comedy Central.
I mean, Netflix, yes, because Comedy Central would never have shown most of what they had.
Isn't it funny that it went from the Friars Club roast to the Comedy Central roast is like the generic term for it?
Yes.
And now and Netflix is like, we're never doing that again. Although it did really well for them.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, to see it uncensored or almost uncensored was much better than the
live version was 100% uncensored. If you're
the
watching
live
live
version, but yeah, I'm not sure if the version they're showing now has been edited some.
Yeah, I was watching it live, and it was like,
it's like just under 3 hours, and I think it feels like they shaved about 5 minutes out of it. But
we need more uncensored comedy.
But go. I mean, the thing is, it's such a gamut because you go from. I mean, as you said, Nikki Glazer just absolutely killed. That was an amazing set.
But honestly, if she wouldn't have gone first, she wouldn't have killed.
Yeah. She still would have been great.
She would have been great, yeah.
I was about to ask
her routine was so tight. And then they go to, not immediately after, soon after, Kim Kardashian just falling flat on her face. And then, what's his name? The machine guy. What's his name?
Bert Kreischer.
And the other guy, Segura.
Tom Segura.
They bombed. It was terrible. It was just awful. And so it's really, it could have used some editing.
Those are two people, like, I don't understand why people think they're so funny. Like, his big shtick is, I don't wear a shirt when I do stand-up. Okay. And then, and then the other thing is not Tom Segura, but I don't know what everyone's fascination is with Nikki Glazer. I don't find her funny. I think it's just
that's the thing.
Take her shirt off.
I have never really found what I've seen of her stand up to be all that good. This was a great routine.
And now she's like the new flavor of the month now, like Amy Schumer was years ago, and now it's her, and then in a year or so it'll be a different female comic or male comic, or it's a cycle,
Well, Nikki Glazer doesn't steal jokes, and she doesn't go after her fans and try to get them fired from their jobs. So that's a plus.
That is a plus.
Yes.
But Kreischer, I think Nikki even made a joke about that before he came up. She was making either that or it may have been I'm not sure who made the joke. Someone made the joke because they were showing all the people that were waiting to come up, all the comedians that were up on stage. It's something about his. I don't remember how. I'm not going to do any justice to it, but there was a joke basically saying he has one joke, and it got a good reaction from the audience because it's pretty much true.
So
you know what though? That one joke has made him a multi.
Oh, that one joke, he is. I give him credit.
I'm hoping coasters and finger quotes become. Maybe that's the name of the special: coasters and finger quotes.
I don't blame him for it. I mean, when you are someone who has been a working comic for years, and somehow suddenly you get something that catches the public attention, you ride that.
Oh yeah, you might have.
But he was on After Midnight, the resurrection of At Midnight that's on NBC now, or CBS, excuse me, and they had it like a poll between the other comics. Is he going to take his shirt off or not? Like within the first 5 minutes, he ripped his shirt off and did the entire rest of the show without his shirt.
I did 7 shows with him at the Miami Improv in 2007. And I found a videotape of us driving to morning radio. And super skinny, and he's barely in the tape, but he is a super, super nice guy. He's one of those guys that, like him or hate his act, you can't not like him.
Yeah. Like I said, if I had been a working comic for years, struggling probably to make ends meet, and something suddenly clicked, I'd be an idiot to not milk it for everything I could get out of it.
What's funny is, so he and Tom Segura, they started doing their podcast, and they're having a conversation, and he's like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm working the Improv." He goes, "Well, he's honestly, what do you get for a week at the Improv?" He's like, "Oh, I'm getting like $2,500." And he's like, "I did a theater last week. I made $25,000 for one show."
Yeah.
Because you're doing the Improv for $2,500 a week for 7 shows.
Yep.
And so he goes, "Well, I got to start doing that."
Well, and he's a married
now.
guy with kids.
Now they're doing that.
I
mean, they're doing
blame it at all.
$100,000 nights.
I can
Insane.
understand why people might not find it funny or might be sick of it, but I don't blame them.
If people keep showing up at the arenas, he's going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Finger quotes and coasters.
No, so you're giving away coasters, Dan?
Yep, the coasters.
Yeah, that works so well at the special.
It did work.
Oh man, you're getting
What was that about, Scott? Wow.
So I've seen
He was
Adam
was
saw
at
both
both
specials.
shows.
The first one sucked. The second one was way
well,
better.
I was going to say I've seen the pilot for the show probably 5 times now, 4 or 5 times, and I didn't realize till I saw it last week that the guy that Tony steals the sale. Tony steals the sale.
Mr. Anderson.
That's Scott. I didn't realize that till last week. I'm like, wait a minute, I know that guy. Holy shit, that's Scott. It's not like he had his little Stan Lee, Peter Jackson cameo.
I didn't recognize him. He was wearing pants instead of shorts.
Yeah, unfortunately, I opened the first show with a big hand for Scott's shorts. That's what threw me off right off the bat. Nothing beats a great pair of legs.
Dan just couldn't stop thinking about my hairy lady legs.
Just made me think of Tiffany.
Just don't shave them the way that picture they brought up was. That was.
I will just shave a
this
D.
picture.
Don't do that.
I will shave a D and an R. God damn it.
Oh, brother, indeed.
Yeah, where's Brian tonight? We were wondering whether he'd like the Iron Giant or find it too emotional for his taste.
He might feel something.
Too many feels.
He didn't want to relate to the FBI agent because he wanted to be an FBI agent growing up.
All right, I have to.
He still wants to be an FBI agent when he grows up.
So in the outtakes of the pilot, when y'all are standing outside of the garage waiting to come in, and he's like all complaining about the wind in his hair, was he just being goofy about that, or is he being like serious?
No. Oh, he's being a little goofy because his hair was blowing all over the place.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "Yeah, come on, it's not good for the hair." I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
Yeah, I just didn't know if he was being like kind of diva about it or just.
No, he wasn't being a diva.
Oh no, this is the best thing about him. Like he was like completely 150% professional. Like the first scene we shot with him, but he kept flubbing his lines. And when he realized just how cool and relaxed we were with it, like, "Oh no, you forgot your line. You're totally fine." He's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm with real people." And he just had a blast the rest of the day.
You can't hear it, but the one outtake when I'm like, "Who wrote this shit?" Because I couldn't remember my own lines. He's like, "Hey, I can't remember some of my lyrics sometimes."
That's right.
Why'd y'all bleep out the cussing on the bloopers? Y'all could have left that uncensored.
Well, we bleeped it to make it funnier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's actually funny.
Jimmy Kimmel does his this week in unnecessary censorship.
Yeah. If we ever do a screen again, we're going to make the outtake a little shorter.
Yeah.
They went a little long. Because it wasn't supposed to be part of another. It was supposed to be just you came to see the sitcom pilot. We wouldn't want people to come out for 20 minutes, so that's why we put in 10 minutes of bloopers.
I didn't know we were going to have the outtakes, honestly. Then, okay. Yeah.
This reference to Dan's sitcom pilot is brought to you in part by
The all-new Era sedan. With a car this hot, you know it's a lot.
Howard the Duck
and Cats.
Some of the worst movies ever.
Yeah, you could definitely tell. You could definitely tell watching the outtakes that you've lost a lot of weight, man. Because that the outtakes where you're laying in the bed and the camera's above your face, man, your face is just like.
Well, I'm also laying like this too.
Oh, okay.
35 pounds will still do that to you.
Yeah,
and it was at 4Gs. So.
You can tell though.
It was the water bed.
Scott, I do thank Adam was there front and center, and the first show was wild because it was 6 o'clock and everyone was sober. Some people hadn't had dinner yet. The second show, 8 o'clock. I think Adam, you'll agree, it was a much better show. Smaller crowd, but a better show.
It was looser.
Yeah. Dan just took off. It was a great show.
It was looser, and it was funny because I think the second show had less people than the first show.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then the guy, I forget the guy's name, but the guy who's doing the warm up.
Rodney Sherwood.
Yeah. That was a funny dude.
There was some lady who just yelled crickets during one.
Okay, I talked to the guy who I didn't talk to the husband, but I talked to their friend, and she made a comment right before that I didn't hear and no one else heard, and it didn't get a response, and so she was actually saying crickets to herself, apparently, not to me. And I took it as she was saying it to me. And he's like, no, trust me. We went out to dinner with them afterwards, and she felt horrible because she thought she was saying it to you. She thought you thought that. I said, I did think that.
Oh, the poor
It was my duck bit.
Oh.
Like, that's a killer bit, and it got nothing. And she goes, crickets, but apparently she said something.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, crickets, and she's like, move on. I'm like, move on.
There are worse things you can say when you have Tourette's. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
My goodness.
Well,
so hopefully we'll have a special come out, and we'll show it here first.
Yeah.
We'll do a private screening with everybody here.
There you go.
Eric's going to watch the wild cut.
Yes, I am the wild.
He's going to watch the second show first. I think that's a good idea.
The director's cut.
That's
uncensored.
Like you said, it's the good thing about doing it live. You do a taping, or you can edit it out, edit stuff.
We have good audio of the audience laughing without any background, so it's just we can put that wherever we need to.
Yeah, part of the reason why the first show was a little funky was because Dan was so focused on making sure that everything was solid technically, and
I was producing.
We have so much freaking coverage because of that, which is great. But
yeah,
good thing we're shooting it twice.
My stupid camera overheated, but other than that, there's something cursed about the center shot. We just let it running, but we have 4 other angles, so we have 5 angles, and we have Scott moving all over the place getting shots. How did that? By the way, did you look at any of your footage yet?
My footage looks great. My legs were sore for 2 days because you were looking at them so much.
Whoa! There was one point where Scott's like on the ground and he bends up right in front of this woman, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, ma'am, for the view you just got."
Wow.
Yeah, it was a fun night.
And then I was
sort of like the wedding photographer who knocks down the father of the bride to try to get a better shot.
Oh, I did that too. That was nice.
Well, like Jay Leno said, he's on Orny Adams' podcast, and he said, if somebody thinks you're not funny and if somebody thinks you're funny, they're both right. Because it's what they
that's
think.
Deep.
Yeah, but it's what they think. If you're not funny to everybody, nobody's funny to everybody.
Well, I think
would
one
think
of those
my
two ways
director
about
would
Jay
think
Leno,
I'm funny.
So that works. Yeah.
I think you're hilarious. I'm sorry.
No, you don't. I like what you said earlier. Okay.
Crickets.
H's and Hitler.
Crickets.
Highfalutin. I got some good bits out of that night.
There might be some crickets merch available in there.
I was gonna say, Eric's gonna get a sound bite video going, which is crickets.
Dan will always be funnier than any time I've opened for him for 2 minutes, so I have no room to talk.
You were funny. You were funnier than some of the other comics that night, or one of them at least.
Wow, what a recommendation!
You weren't the least funny person there.
Well, it was his first time doing hosting, and he was funny, so there's a huge credit to that.
Yeah, that's good.
Is Leo still trying to do comedy? Or did you give that
No.
up?
Leo gave up.
So The experiment
you were
was
there.
yes,
Yeah.
the experiment was a failure.
He's going off on his so hope he's doing awesome.
All right. I gotta go find my family. They're having dinner somewhere near here.
Well, good luck. Hopefully they left you a trail of breadcrumbs.
All right. So
And
all
I'll
right,
be on
we'll see
location
you all
next
Monday night for the social
Monday nights.
social hour, fun games, news.
Spinning the
Nudes?
wheel. We'll spin the wheel.
We'll spin a wheel. We'll do it all. So we'll see
It'll be
you guys
real.
Monday night
Yeah.
for all the stuff. All right. Good night. See ya.